Good afternoon, friends. How are we this fine Saturday? I just thought I would sign in here and log on and share with you my version of a Zuppa Tuscana, which is a copycat from Olive Garden. If you've ever had it, it's absolutely delicious. And I kind of already got started before I decided to record this, so I'll kind of catch you up to where I'm at here. Let's see how to do this. All right, we're going to camera around here so you can see that I've got a little bit of turkey bacon. As you can see here, I'm using a little this Appleton Farms turkey bacon, and I added a little bit of oil to the pan. Whatever oil you have on hand is absolutely fine to just kind of crisp it up. I've already pre-browned some sausage, some Italian sausage. So I had a little mishap with my freezer, my bottom freezer this week, this beautiful refrigerator here, and the ice maker was acting up, and things were starting to thaw out. They were still cold. So I had a package of sausage in there I was planning to make this soup with. Wasn't planning on it this week, but we are preparing a birthday dinner for Pearl's dad tonight, and so I thought a good pre-dinner would be this Zuppa Tuscana. So my bacon is getting nice and crispy in there. This is about using what you have on hand. I'm dicing up an onion right now, and I'm sure you know how that's done. I don't need to show you, but what I like to do is I like to try to keep one end of the onion intact so it all stays together while I'm dicing. Okay, and then I'm going to add that onion in there with some garlic and add the sausage back in to reheat. I browned it off the other day when my freezer was on the fritz, so that it wouldn't go bad. And it is an Italian turkey sausage, so we're kind of going light here, trying to be a little bit healthier, a little more health conscious, but I don't know, it's got some heavy cream in it, so it's not too healthy. But we're going to green it up a little bit with some chopped kale. Some frozen kale, incidentally, that was in the freezer that was acting up. It was kind of a mystery all of a sudden, and I've had this happen before with the ice maker. All of a sudden I had no ice and no freezer. And my bacon is popping. B, my dog will love that little treat there that popped out all the way onto the floor. BB, come here. My onion was rather large, so I'm only using half of it for this soup. And I like to always keep a bowl in the kitchen for all my scraps. BB, come here. Look, there's a little treat for you. All right, we're going to add some onions in here to start sweating them. Turn the heat down to about medium low so they don't burn and they don't cook too fast while I'm getting the other stuff together. So here's how our bacon and onion mixture is going. Okay. Get those sweating a little bit. I'm not going to salt them because the bacon is salty, the sausage is salty. I'm going to be using a chicken bouillon that's kind of salty. It's not low sodium. So I'm not going to salt my onions. I just want to slowly sweat them out a little bit before I add my garlic and then my liquids. Okay. Now while that onion is sweating, I'm going to cut up some potato that I'm going to need for this in a little bit. And I am leaving the peel on. This is russet potato. It's already been washed. And I'm cutting them. I've cut them in long slices. I'm almost cutting them like thin shoestring French fries. All right, and I'm going to cut them smaller because I want the soup to cook quickly. I want the potatoes to cook quickly, so I don't want large chunks of potato in there. Okay, and so I sliced them long ways. Okay, and then I'm going to, then I stack them like a deck of cards, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to dice them about 1 inch long. Okay, and they should come out kind of like that as the end piece. And then I've got in between, see, we've got pieces like that. And the peel, of course, as you know, has extra nutrients in it, so not afraid of that. And for the volume that I'm making today, I'm using 1 potato. I don't want potato soup, right? So now that I have a nice flat side, I can more easily slice some thin sections here. The ends are always a little more difficult, and I want a nice flat surface as I'm going through and making them smaller. Now my matchsticks, almost julienne, a little thicker than julienne. I'm not fast at cutting because I like my fingers. Okay. Getting uneven here. And that's probably because my board is a little bit uneven. There we go, that's a little better. I need to stabilize that. I had it right on the lip of the stove because I'm trying to keep our shot in tight here. All right, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not looking for perfection, you know. All right, and I'm going to set that aside for just a minute, and we're going to check on our bacon and onions. Our bacon and onions is looking really good, so I'm going to go ahead at this time, and I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic in there. Now, I'm using jarred minced garlic because I have a big dinner I'm cooking tonight, and I want it to be easy, not complicated. And I don't like to measure much when I'm cooking. Happiness is homemade, so we just eyeball. I probably put about half a teaspoon of garlic in there. Okay. And we'll get that fragrant in there. Here is my pre-cooked Italian turkey sausage, all right, that I cooked up the other night. And so I'm just going to add that back into the pan to heat it up, brown it a little bit more, and get some of the flavor from it. Any residual fat or juices that are in there. Oh yeah. That is smelling so good. All right, now I'm going to get my chicken broth, and for economical reasons, I've stopped buying big boxes of already made broth, and I don't have any homemade right now. And so, and I was tired of buying these little bouillon cubes that don't go very far, right? And the other stuff that comes in a jar, pre-made soup stock, you know, concentrated, is rather expensive. So I have this industrial size Knorr chicken bouillon granules, and I can just make that. As you want low sodium, use more water and less salt, less bouillon, okay? But it just gives it that nice chicken flavor. I'm going to fill up my pitcher with some water. I've got about 7 cups in this pitcher. I'm not necessarily going to use all of it. I want to eyeball it. And I don't want to really dirty my pitcher, so I'm actually going to put my bouillon right into the pan, kind of like a seasoning. Okay. And I'm just using a heaping teaspoon, kitchen teaspoon. All right. And then I'm going to add this water. Make my broth in there. I don't need to heat it, preheat it in the microwave or anything like that, or have hot water, because it's going to heat up in the pan. So far, I've only used about 4 cups, just to kind of cover everything in here. And I'm going to raise my heat, bring it up to a boil. I'm trying to think of what other spices. I know they put some hot chili pepper in here when they made it. We don't tend to like it spicy. They put crushed red pepper in there. So I've already put enough garlic in there. I don't think I want any garlic powder or garlic salt. I don't want any onion powder because I already put onion in there. I don't want to over season it. A lot of seasoning. I know a lot of people like a lot of seasoning. Always season. But this has got enough seasoning and spice between the sausage and the bacon. All right, so we're going to bring that up to a boil and add our potatoes so that they can cook until they're tender. Once that comes up to a boil, I'll be right back and show you how we're doing. Okay, so our pot of broth with all that is coming to a boil. And so I'm going to now add in our potatoes. And since I am filming myself, I'm doing it with one hand, so it might go a little slower than if I had both hands and could just scrape it off the board right into the pot. Now, as I add this in, if I see that I need some more liquid, I can go ahead and do that and bring it up to another boil. And I expect that these potatoes should be about fork tender in 10-15 minutes at the most. So when I pause to take a break for something like that, because I know you don't want to watch a pot boil, I sit there and do up some dishes. That looks like just about the right amount there. Okay, I like it. So we're going to let those come up to a full boil and then simmer for about 15 minutes. And we'll check back on it momentarily. Okay, checking back here, we have our potatoes are getting tender. I just checked them and they break easily with the tongs. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my kale. And I have this bag of Great Value chopped kale that was frozen. And I got that from, obviously, Walmart. And it was in my freezer when it started to thaw, so I've kept it on cold. And it's still a little bit frozen, actually. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this. It's not fresh kale, I know. I'm using what I have. Money is tight these days, and so we're just trying to use up what we have and live out of our freezer and our pantry. Okay, and I don't want too much, so let's see how that looks there. Okay, so it looks a little bit much, but I think it's going to be okay. So it'll be a little bit more nutritious, right? And so now, to make the Zuppa Tuscana that we're accustomed to, I'm going to use a little bit of heavy whipping cream. And this is one I got from Aldi's on sale. And it's still good until April, so I'm using it a little bit at a time. I don't use heavy whipping cream a lot, but I like that as opposed to like a half and half or just a heavy cream, because if I need to whip it up for something, add some sugar and make some whipped cream, I can do that. So it has multiple uses and it's got a pretty long shelf life. I was surprised. Oh yeah, doesn't that look fabulous? Fantastic. That looks so yummy. All right, we're gonna heat that up with the kale in there. It just melted right down. And then just a few minutes for that. I don't want it to come to a boil because I don't want the cream to scald. But I'm also going to add a little bit that I have left of some Parmesan cheese. Actually, I just realized that my shredded Parmesan is in limited supply, so I think I'm going to switch to grated so that I can save the shredded for the topping later. All right, I got my grated Parmesan here. It's a little caked up because it's the good stuff that doesn't have any starch, cornstarch in it to keep it from caking. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that in there. And that also is going to, ooh, that was a big chunk. That's also going to add to the saltiness of it. So again, why I didn't add any more salt. We can always add some later if we need to at the time it's been served. Oh yeah, that looks fantastic. I'm so excited to try this, making it for my first time. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna plate that up into a bowl, and I'm gonna give it just a little bowl. I'm gonna give it a little taste, make sure it's good for our dinner tonight, and I'll tell you how it came out. Okay, welcome back, and here is our beautiful Zuppa Tuscana. Those tender potatoes, the sausage, the turkey bacon, the kale. It looks perfect. So it's a little bit hot. I'm gonna give it a taste test in just a moment. Okay, so it's still a little bit hot. Look at the steam coming off of that soup. It's amazing. Oh my God. And it smells so good. Now, I didn't top it with the shredded Parmesan cheese because I have a little bit of that left and I want to save it for when we have our dinner tonight. But I want to just taste it. I haven't eaten since breakfast this morning, so I want to give it a good taste and make sure that it's seasoned appropriately. So I don't want to burn my mouth. Oh my God. That is perfection. Perfection in a bowl. I absolutely love it. I think it's better than the Olive Garden. Nothing against theirs. I love it. And that's what inspired me for this, but don't make it to Olive Garden very often. There's not one nearby. And But again, my family's not a big fan of the spice. So this is not spicy. I've tailored it to our specifications and lightened it up a little bit with the turkey. And it is just really good. It's got enough soup there. I added just the right amount of water to that broth and it came out great. Love it. So definitely recommend it. Let me know what you think if you gave it a try. And I will look forward to seeing you all here next time. I'm in the kitchen. We'll see if I'm up to showing you how I do my standing rib roast tonight. And I'm going to be doing some Parmesan crusted potatoes as well, and heirloom tomato salad with some green beans and a miso sauce. So I may show you how I do it. I might show you the finished product. We'll just have to wait and see. I hope you join me next time. Hope you like this video. Give me a like and subscribe. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, guys.